Well, are there any, I'm going to take a speaker and evaluator roles from the floor. Are there any floor nominations? Angie, you look like you're ready to speak. I can't hear you. Angie, I can't hear you.
Okay, I'm kind of new at this. I just wanna make sure that that everything is clicked and everything looks good. So if you see my face going around like that, that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad I'm able to get in.
That's the first step.
Yeah.
The next step is to be a speaker.
Yes, we'll work on that.
There you go. I was waiting for, I saw Harpreet, but for some reason she's not, I don't see her trying to get in. We'll give them we'll give everybody one more minute, see if we get a few more members.
Tracy, do you have a role for today?
No, actually, I don't.
Okay, I have a speaker
Yeah,
and evaluator role.
I prefer evaluator in this.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and jump into our meeting for today. Welcome everyone. It is a great day. Good to see all of you. Good to see the screen nice and full with people and faces. I love it. I love it. I love it. Really quickly, I just want to acknowledge our guest for the day, Angie. I just wanted to, get a few thoughts from you, while you're here, and any thought you might have.
Well, after, I think it was 25 years ago that I stopped going to Toastmaster. But now I'd like to be more involved with my HOA. And I'm finding that, the fear of talking in groups is still there. So I'd like to, get back to practicing my speaking skills.
Thank you, Angie. Let's give her a round of applause. Awesome, awesome. And that was perfect segue into my next point. I think really that is what Toastmasters is about. It's about having that goal that you want to make a change with, and then saying, I'm going to figure out the tools I need to do that. So that is a beautiful thing, Angie. And I think here at this club, we can help you do that. Now, before I turn the control over to our Toastmaster of the day, I want to bring up a term. And again, your comments were a perfect segue into my thought. The point of this is I don't want members to kind of lose track of what, as Toastmasters, we're kind of here to do. And I think Jag has brought this up before, but we do a segment, or a part of our meeting is prepared speeches. And that is really the goal. And I just want us to think about that. I know when I kind of first joined Toastmasters, I had, I prepared, 3 or 4 or 5 times. I go through the speech, make sure everything looked good. And then I brought that speech to the club. Now, I know at times when we have to do things impromptu, but I just want to put that reminder in the back of our mind is the goal is to come to the meetings prepared and having a prepared talk. And that is really what it's about. And I just don't want us to lose focus or sight of that, because imagine for a minute, someone comes up to you and says, you know what, I'll pay you $100 to talk to our club with that talk. Well, you probably wouldn't show up just giving that talk for the first time. You would probably go through it a few more times just to make sure everything is good, and then give the talk. So I just want us to remember that, fellow Toastmasters, 5 to 7 minute speech. We can run through that a few times, maybe at work, maybe on our way to work. We can run through that and have that practice and get our mind ready to give that talk. So I don't want us to lose focus of that. And I'm guilty of it too. I'm guilty of it too, just doing it for the first time, but I have to kind of go back to the roots. And the goal is to be prepared, come here, give your talk talk and then get that evaluation that's so critical. So I just want us to be reminded of that. Well, Fairweather Toastmasters, you know it's that time. I hope you have your shovel in hand. It is about time for us to do our power work. Great, Terry, I saw the shovel. It is about, you know, that imperfect action. I just want us to remember it is about the hard work it takes to become a leader. It's about the hard work it takes to be a member and have something to say at your HOA. That's what it's about. And that's what we do here every day. So I don't want us to forget that. Without further ado, I'd like to turn control of our meeting over to our Toastmaster of the day, our past president, new DTM, Mr. Jag Nagendra. Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Good afternoon. It's almost 12:05. Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to have a fun and exciting meeting today. That's because we have a screen full of people and wanting to speak and having a goal that they are, why they are here. Before I begin, I put in the chat, the word for today is auspicious. It's also, if you use it as an adjective, I also put in a description of what it means. Take a look at it. I highly encourage you to use that in your speech, prepared speeches, table topics, as well as in your evaluations as well. Before we begin, we do need to fill a few roles. And let me go through this. We have a speaker, one slot open. Is anyone wanting to speak today?
Jag, I want to be one of the speakers if it's not there yet.
You are a speaker number 2.
Oh, perfect. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, that's what you asked for. Speaker number 1. Who is it?
If no one else is going to step up, I could wing it. I have no preparation, but I'll wing it.
That's the spirit, Dustin. Okay, we have 2 speakers now. I also need a second evaluator. Who wants to do an evaluation? Terry. Okay. Excellent. Looks like we have the roles full. So just to run through the roles, those who do not have access to the sign-up sheet on the agenda, I will be your Toastmasters. Dustin will be our speaker. And talking about the speaker, Dustin, what is the title you want to give to your speech?
Okay, so the title of the speech is going to be How to Homebrew Mead.
How to home?
Yes.
Homegrown?
Homebrew. It's going to be a homebrewing instructional. That's what I could think of with a few minutes notice.
Okay, how to homebrew.
Yes.
And how long do you think its speech is going to be? 5 to 7 minutes, 4 to 6 minutes?
I'm thinking 4 to 6 minutes. Just without any preparation or timing, I'm just going to guesstimate 4 to 6 minutes.
Okay, thank you. And speaker 2, Sweet Henry, what is your speech title?
Stupid ideas.
And is this part of any Pathways program?
Yes, I am doing level 3 pathway.
Okay.
It's about doing a presentation and getting information across to your audience.
Okay. Would you mind sending the evaluation form to Terry?
Yes, sure.
That
Yeah.
she will be evaluating so that she will have the information available to her. And how long is this speech, Sweet?
Trying to just 9 to 11 minutes.
Okay. Awesome. So we have 2 speakers today. Dustin is going to be speaking on how to home brew, and also we have Sweet Henry will be speaking on stupid ideas. It's not that both the speeches are related, but still, it's a great title. And we have the fair weather minute is going to be Terry. So she's going to talk to us about what the Toastmasters has done to her. And then we have a table topic master for today is Forrester Brown. As always, he's going to bring us some challenges. And the evaluator one is Tracy. So you're going to be evaluating Dustin's speech. And the evaluator two is Terry. So you'll be evaluating Sweet Henry's speech. We have a timer who I don't see. Sarah, Amal. All right.
For some reason, happens. I try to change the background, I keep disconnecting.
We cannot
It
hear you.
keeps me
No, you're-
disconnected. I don't know.
You're coming metallic.
Yeah, connections are not for some reason today that I keep getting. Is it possible for somebody else to take my role, please? Because it's not my.
Okay, looks like we have some technical difficulties. Is there anyone who wants to volunteer to be a timer today?
Well, I will take care of that, but what I will do is for the green light, one hand, maybe for the red light, I'll just put like this. Would that be okay?
And what do we do with the yellow?
I'll have yellow light. Okay, I'll have yellow.
Okay,
And then that's red. How about that?
okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so that would be wonderful, Ramesh. Thank you for doing that. And we have the counter and the grammarian. Watch out, speakers. So that's going to be Felicia. And she is really honest about it. And she's going to keep you right back. So without further delay, so let's begin our Toastmasters meeting. As I said, we have a wonderful lineup today. And our first speaker is Dustin. So before he begins speaking, Ramesh, can you give us the timing constraints for 4 to 6 minute speech as well as a 9 to 11 minute speech, please?
Okay, for Dustin's speech, I will raise my first hand when it will be 4 minutes. And then I will show you my yellow pad when it will be 5 minutes. And then when it will be 6 minutes, it will be like this. And then you'll have 30 seconds to complete your speech. Similarly, for sweets, I will raise my first hand when it will be 9 minutes. And then I will show you this yellow pad when it will be 10 minutes. And then finally, I will show you this one, orange, when it will be 11 minutes. And you will have 30 seconds to complete your speech. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ramesh. Dustin Deeks, how to homebrew. How to homebrew. Dustin Deeks.
Thank you. Hopefully everyone could hear me. The title of my speech is going to be How to Homebrew Mead. And I'll go through a little background really quick. Since the beginning of time, people have been having to find ways to keep their water clean or to ferment things and make them happy. So one of the earliest substances that was available was honey. It was readily available. It could be found with a little bit difficulty. Obviously you'd have to fight with the bees, but they found when you mixed it with water and let it sit out, it would ferment. When it fermented, it would clean the water and they could drink it. And they also felt really good. So this process essentially hasn't changed. And I'm going to walk you through the stages. First, preparation. Second, fermentation. Third, what you call racking. And fourth, what you call bottling. So the first stage I'll walk you through is called preparation. In order to make mead, you're going to need 1 part honey and 4 parts water. You're also going to need a container. In this case, I'd recommend something called a glass carboy, C-A-R-B-O-Y, and that's going to be in the 4 liter or 1 gallon range. You're going to require sufficient water and honey in a ratio of 4 parts water, 1 part honey. To mix within this, you're going to need some sort of pot in which to boil your honey and water. You'll require yeast nutrients, and something to stir with, and an airlock to go on top of your carboy. So step number 1, pour your water inside your pot, heat it up to boiling, and slowly stir in your honey. What this will guarantee is that your honey breaks up And then after it breaks up, it'll mix thoroughly with the water. Otherwise, it'll clump up and will not ferment properly. You cool this down to a warm temperature, and then you're going to pour this into your 1 gallon carboy or 4-liter carboy. After you do this, you'll add a couple teaspoons of what you call yeast nutrient, which is available through any home brewing supply store. And you're going to want to use wine yeast. You get a starter going with your wine yeast. You make sure that starts foaming. You dump that in and you mix that in to your carboy. And then at that point, you cap it off with an airlock, add a little bit of water, and you set it in a somewhat cool, dry place. I'd recommend a closet or a cabinet that you're not going to touch. And you want the temperature to be stable between 65 to maybe 75 Fahrenheit. So it has to be pretty tight. And that's the first stage. That's preparation. The second stage we're going to work on is called fermentation, where you do pretty much absolutely nothing but monitor. What you're going to see is after the first day, your mixture is going to get extremely cloudy. And you're going to start seeing it foaming up, and you're going to start seeing your little airlock at the top is going to start bubbling. Bubble, 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 bubble. It's kind of fascinating to see. While this is happening, the yeast is breaking apart the sugars inside the honey and making carbon dioxide and ethanol. Ethanol is what we know as drinking alcohol. Carbon dioxide is obviously CO2, and that's what's going to be outgassing and also keeping your mix sterile inside your carboy. That will go on for about 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, and stop. Second stage after that is what you call racking. And what that means is you transfer from what your primary fermentation vessel is, which is your carboy, and you're going to want to get a second one. That one you need to have cleaned out, and you're going to take a siphon, and you're going to siphon from the first container into the second container. And when you do that, you're also going to want to crush something called a Campden tablet, which will add sulfites, and they'll kill off any bacteria or any yeast, and they'll stop your fermentation almost immediately. You're then wanting to set that aside also with an airlock in a cool, dark place for another 3 to 4 weeks. And that's going to undergo a secondary fermentation called malolactic fermentation, which is going to take the edge off of your product and make it less, if you ever had young wine, how it tears up the inside of your mouth or it's kind of rough, it gives it more of a buttery feel. And you're going to let that sit there for about 3 weeks or so. And you're also going to notice that your mix is going to clarify. All the stuff is going to settle to the bottom. You're then going to take your siphon again, some bottles, and we're at the final stage, which is bottling. You're going to siphon from your secondary fermentation container into your bottles and cap them off. I use reusable bottles because they're really simple. You can reuse them. You can give them out to your friends. They give them back and you refill them. You're going to fill up those bottles and you're going to set them away somewhere to age. Aging, I'd recommend probably 6 months to a year. You're going to let it sit in a fridge. You're going to let it sit in a refrigerator somewhere cool or a wine fridge and just let it sit there. And that's where the final processes are going to take place. Malolactic fermentation should completely finish. And you should get your final settling out, and all of your rougher flavors will break apart, and you get a very smooth, somewhat dry, very strong honey flavored, very simple mead. And that's pretty much how you make mead. And I think I went below time, but that's the end of my speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Dusty. Now I can't wait to go and learn more about it. So very, very interesting speech.
Thank you.
The speaker is going to talk about stupid ideas. Sweet Henry. Stupid ideas. Sweet Henry. Sweet, do you need any co-host privileges on the Zoom?
Yeah, I want to share my slide, but at the same time, I want people to be able to see my face. If you want to see my face.
Mark can make you co-host.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
co-host. You're co-host now.
Okay.
All right, please help me welcome Sweet Henry.
Trying to share my screen.
And just so you're aware, Sweet, Ramesh is the timer.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
I can.
Can you still see my face?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
That's yeah. Okay. Thank you. Stupid ideas. Good afternoon, everybody. Today, I want to talk about some stupid ideas. Are they really stupid? Let's see. A fateful day of 1959. Okay, imagine you're there. It's at the headquarters at 3M. Everybody knows 3M. They make all the different products, office, everything, so many different products. There is a room with all male executives in that room waiting for somebody to do a presentation for them, okay? And one lady came into the room. She is only 4 feet and 11 inches, very tiny, small. She calls herself Sarah Little. Her name is Sarah. She is Little, so everybody calls her Sarah Little. And she is the editor's assistant at House Beautiful magazine. So what happened was that before that day, she wrote an article in the magazine. She wrote an idea and make it into an article. This is what she said. All the companies that are making products, they are making their products to mainly work for the retailers and distributors like stores that are reselling their products, but they never really think about the end users and what the end users really need. So it's a simple logic, but before her time in 1959, nobody really wrote it that way. And that article wowed all the executives at different companies, and 3M executives invited her to their company and say, okay, we need your help in improving some items that we are making, right? So that's why she's in that room, okay? The task that she is given is this, to talk about boats. She was supposed to talk about how to improve the boats that they used in 1959 for gift wrapping and everything. That's her task. So she went into that room. She briefly talked about the boats, and they came up with the idea, told the executives about what she thinks, right? That's what she's supposed to do. She is the editor's assistant for House Beautiful magazine. But then she asked one question to the executive. Excuse me, sir, if you have some time for me, maybe like 5 minutes or whatever. I really want to talk about something else. And everybody was like, okay, we have no choice. We are stuck with you in the room. Go ahead. And so she started drawing something on the board. Okay. So what she started drawing a bra. She started drawing a woman's bra on the board. And everybody was like, 3M, Miss, 3M does not make women's undergarment or underwear. We don't plan to, we never had, and we do not plan to in future. You're at the wrong place. She was like, no, please listen to me. I really need to tell you about my idea. So she started drawing how the bra cups, holds women's body, and then went into all the materials and how comfortable, make the woman feel without sweating too much. And then also how it is good for air, for prevention of the bacteria growing, everything. It's like from hygiene perspective, she came up with all the different things. And all the executives, all the male executives are very surprised and amazed, like, okay, well, what are we talking about? And that was a fateful deal in the whole history, world history, because what she was trying to say was this is what happened, okay? Before that day, 3 of her family members got sick with serious respiratory, anything, related to their lungs and stuff like that, something that is contagious in the air. 3 of her family members got sick back to back. And she was very frustrated. She was the main caretakers for them. And at the same time, she had to protect themselves, taking them to the hospital, taking care of the patients and everything, all her family members. And out of desperation, she, sitting in her living room one day, she cut up one of her bras, 1 cup, and tried to put it on her nose and use some rubber band, whatever she had on that day, try to protect herself. And it worked. She was very comfortable, protected her. Out of those 3 patients, they all passed away over time, but she never got infected at all with that disease. And she wanted to relay that. She tried to talk to the doctors at the hospital and nurses. Everybody liked the idea, but what they said was that hospitals cannot make products or invent things. We cannot support you that way. You need to go and talk to a huge manufacturer that can actually make the product for the whole world. That's why she tried to write the article, tried to make it into 3M to get the 5-minute opportunity to talk to the executives about her world-changing idea. At first, executives were like, wow, you must be kidding me. She said, please trust me. It worked. I'm going to work with people in the medical field. We'll do a lot of testing, and this is going to save millions of lives. And 3M finally gave in. They allowed her to start the process. So I just want to show you this. before her time, before that day, this is what they had as a mask. When they had Spanish flu, all those things, in 1930s, 1920s, 1940s, it's not comfortable. It doesn't really protect people from the disease. So people were getting sick left and right. They put out all these, posters around town say, please wear a mask. Nobody really wanted to because they didn't really do anything. I'll show you another one. These were the masks that doctors and nurses were wearing in the hospitals. And those masks didn't really cover the nose. They thought covering their mouth was good enough and not getting the virus into their lungs and everything. Apparently, it was not doing a good job. The masks were useless. So with what Sarah, with her idea, her own idea of her bra and using it, that's how N95, World's Changing Mask, was born. That's her, and then she got her original trademark with her name and filed on August 19, 1959. And until today, N90 mask is still one of the most effective masks that are used at the hospitals, out in the field, very accessible. So I want to talk about Sarah briefly. She had a poor childhood. So what she said was that growing up, she didn't have a lot of toys to play with. Her mom was a single mom, and she had a lot of siblings, and they couldn't afford to eat food properly. So they would have to get some leftover from the grocery stores and stuff like that. So she didn't have a lot of toys to play with. So what they did was, she and her siblings, they asked 2 questions to everything that they saw near around the kitchen, in the living room, whatever. When they look at even a pen or pencil, whatever, the very first question is, why is it designed this way? Another question is, could it be improved? That's a game that they played with each other to see who can answer those questions, who can come up with different ideas. That really helped her with her imagination, and how she could come up with different ideas that other people might not be thinking about. So one thing that I would like to talk about is, from that day moving forward, Sarah actually changed the world by inventing other new different ideas that also still impact you and me until today. We still use these as of today, as of right now, in your home, in my home. I want to show that to you. Did you know that she was the one who invented the family room concept? So before 1959, before the years, rooms are more isolated things inside the houses. And she invented the idea that there could be a living room, there could be a family room combined. There will be a more greater room. So she brought up the idea and tried to write more in that House Beautiful magazine, and promoted that idea. And also, she was the one who came up with the idea of pre-made bowls. So now when you go to Costco, instead of having to make your own bowls, those already pre-made bowls that you can buy, that you can easily stick on a box, or a gift, box that you make at home. Makes it much easier. She also invented the pots and pans that are that you can use in the fridge. So it means it can withstand the cold. At the same time, you can take it directly to the microwave and no problem getting heated up. So fridge to microwave concept, she invented that. The last but not the least, she also was very instrumental in coming up with 3M for better materials for NASA to make spacesuits. So they did a lot of experiments on what materials would be the best to keep the body, not too cold, not too warm, just a body heat and temperature and everything in space. So these are my takeaways that I would like to tell you guys about. Okay, in your living room or in your kitchen or in your office, one day or another, you might have different ideas that you never thought of. But in your head, right after the idea come up, you might, oh my goodness, that sounds really stupid, Or let's say you need to do a presentation for your boss, and he or she asking for some inputs for the organizational branch. Let me tell you, there's no such thing as a stupid idea. Okay, don't just kill it in your head. Speak it out, talk to other friends, bring it up to your boss. Don't be afraid. Sometimes whatever that you are thinking could be changing millions of lives. Another thing is dare to dream, right? Think outside the box. If we think only within the box, we'll always have square ideas. Square, 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 everybody will have square ideas, right? We need to think outside the box, something that they have never thought of. Something that has never been done doesn't mean that it's not the right way to do. Another thing is grab the opportunity, make yourself heard. If there's an opportunity, even if you feel like it's not there for you, grab it. Make sure that you make yourself heard by others and your ideas count. So thank you very much. And I am so glad that as of today, we have N95 masks for all of us to wear. And we should be thankful for to Sarah for that. I just want to let you know, she, in her whole life, she died at age of 97 in Seattle, Washington. So if you happen to be in Washington State, she has a museum there. In her whole life, wherever she went, she collected all the interesting things. They are showcasing over 3,500 items that she collected over her, during her trips. So yeah, go and check it out. It's called Sarah Little's Museum of Design. So thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Sweet, for that very, very informative speech about Sarah. Before we move on to Fair Weather Minute, I'd like to ask Ramesh, our timer, for the timers report.
Yes, both speakers did pretty well and a fantastic job finishing both his speeches within the given time frame. Dustin completed his speech on 4 minutes and 19.46 seconds, and Sweet completed her speech 11 minutes 5.19 seconds. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Ramesh. Now, please help me welcome Terry Armini for our Fair Weather Minute. Terry? I see you're muted. We can't hear you, Terry.
Okay, thank you, Jag. Thank you for the cue on being muted. And good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. I'm going to talk a little bit about our shovel, because it's been a very meaningful tool to have around. A shovel, to me, doesn't really represent work so much as digging. And I like to think of my experience in Toastmasters as learning to dig deep into what is meaningful to talk about, what is relevant. I joined Toastmasters without any experience at all in corporate world or really much in coeducational world. And it's been very, very interesting for me to understand the importance through my talks and through hearing other people's talks, that instead of just giving a litany of things in our talk or just saying a lot of different things, to pick 3 things. Jag gave a talk about this, the importance of making 3 points and then digging deep into them, digging for relevance to the group and digging for a tie-in to a story, to put in the human touch. That has been something that Mark has been very much a proponent of. And so I'm looking at this shovel, and it's reminding me that I need to dig in to the things that I want to share. And like Sarah, I need to, or like Sweet mentioned as a takeaway for Sarah Little, we all need to grab the opportunity and make ourselves heard, because we all have something auspicious to share. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry, for your insight. Now we're going to move on to the table topics. And we have a wonderful table topic masters who's going to take us through the experience. Please help me welcome Foster Brown.
Thank you very much, Jack, and good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. I hope you're enjoying this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. I know it's a little bit warm out there, but we can deal with it. Now, before I start the table topics, I'm going to need some volunteers. Now, just to put you at ease, mine is not going to be as difficult as Jack's or as Mark's, but it's going to be much, much easier. So you can volunteer. And it's just a simple question. So do I have any volunteers?
I can volunteer.
Felicia, one.
Angie,
Tracy,
and Angie did. Angie
Angie?
volunteered.
Ramesh, excellent, excellent. Now this is going to be, before I started, can we have the timing constraint from Ramesh?
Of course, before entering into this auspicious occasion of, promptly speaking, I like to remind to all of our speakers that for the prompt speech, I will raise my first hand when it will be 1 minute, and when it will be 1.5 minutes, I will show you this yellow pad, and then when it will be 2 minutes, I'll show you this orange pad, indicating that time is almost gone. So you will have 30 seconds to finish your speech. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ramesh. Now, the first question is to Felicia, and it's an easy one. Now, if someone is to ask you to wear one color for a whole year, just one color for a whole year, what color would you choose and why?
Thank you very much, Foster. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. The color that I would select to wear for a whole year would be beige. You're asking yourself, why beige? Beige is so boring. The reason I chose beige is because beige is neutral. It doesn't matter if the person is angry around you or happy around you or any type of emotion around you, you are neutral, always neutral. You do not convey bad vibes. You do not convey overly hyperactive personality. You're just calm throughout. And that is one of the things anybody that knows me will say, she's always so calm. And why is that? I like neutral colors. I could wear red occasionally, but it's not in my comfort zone. I like pink a lot, but I haven't been wearing it in several years. I had a flick with white for several years. And at one point at work, I would dress all white. White top, white skirt, white shoes. And my coworkers would say to me, "Are you Nurse Felicia? What are you doing down the hallway? All white." I said, "Oh, that's my comfort zone." So fellow Toastmasters, beige is the color. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Felicia. Now to the second table topic question. Now go to Angie. Now, when we click on the Zoom button to show up on the Toastmaster meeting, we carefully choose our backgrounds. Some of our backgrounds have meanings to them. So I'll ask Angie, look in your background and pick anything from your background and just tell us a story about it. Anything about it.
Anything about me?
Anything about your background.
Oh, anything about my background?
Behind you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Table Topic Master. I'm sorry for Daisy, my roommate here. She wants to take over speaking. She was quiet the whole time until now. But getting back to my background here, I love art. I have some art in the background, some I've done myself. Some I've gotten from friends. Some I had purchased. And as you can see, my wall is loaded with pictures. I don't really want to hide any of them. So it's pretty, it's probably pretty different type of wall that you see usually. But I do love colors. That's also one other thing. And sometimes I think that when people come into my place, it's nothing but colors. It could probably be dizzying, but I have gotten used to it. So it has been home to me to see colors. And let me see, what else can I say about my background here? It's busy. It's a very busy background. And there's always something to look at, I suppose. I do like that. And I think that's all I'm gonna, I can think of saying.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Angie. We have a very colorful background. I'm sure it has more stories to tell than.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Now, in the interest of time, I think I've probably just asked one more question, and I'll go to Tracy.
All right.
So the question is, well, let me make it easier. What white lies do you tell? What white lies do you tell? And why?
Okay. Well,
I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but
my mind went blank, so that's a tribute to the question. I was thinking about the other question with the color I would wear. If I may, I will just answer that question. If I had to choose one color to wear for a year, I would choose blue. One reason is that because we're on screen a lot, I think blue is one of those colors that makes our skin tones look warmer. And had to see myself a lot. I wore some brighter colors early on, and I would look at how washed out I looked on the screen. And I just thought, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. So I try to wear blue more, especially for a visual virtual experience. Having said that, it's not that I love being on the screen either. I find it very distracting, but it's a way to connect with people. And then the other reason I would choose blue is because there are so many shades of blue. There's all the way from the deepest navy to the lightest blue. I tend to like more saturated colors myself, but there's so much variety within the shade of blue that it would be easier to work with, I think, than some other colors. And if I had to be honest, what color do I wear most of the time? I wear a lot of black, but it does not tend to warm up the face, and it does not have a lot of variety. So I think I would choose blue if somebody made me pick a color. And I think that's really all I have to say. Thanks.
thank you very much, Tracy. Now let's have the timers report.
Of course. Felicia spoke 1 minute and 49.42 seconds. Fantastic. And Angie spoke 1 minute and 45.47 seconds. And Tracy spoke 1 minute and 16.83 seconds. All of the speakers did a fantastic job. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Ramesh. Now I'll return the control to the Toastmaster, Mr. Najendra.
All right, thank you, Cluster, for the table topics. Now we're going to move on to the evaluations. Please help me welcome the general evaluator for today's meeting is our president of the club, Mark Thompson.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmaster. It's a pleasure to be your general evaluator for today. Actually, this is one of my favorite roles. Something about the general evaluator I just love to do. So basically my job today is to introduce the evaluators, evaluate the meeting, and yes, I will do a little evaluation of the evaluators to make sure that they do their jobs properly for the most part. And keep in mind, evaluators, I'm always looking for a tip, because we are here to find the things that we can do better. So don't forget to include that tip on what you could have done better. Real quickly, we're going to go over to our timing constraint to Ramesh for our evaluations.
Of course, for both of the evaluator, the time will be between 2 and 3 minutes. So when it will be 2 minutes, I will raise my hand. When it will be 2.5 minutes, I will show you my yellow pad. And when it will be 3 minutes, I will show you my orange pad. And then speakers will have 30 seconds to complete their speech evaluation. Thank you.
Awesome. That sounds good. Hey, Ramesh, and when you hold up your hand or the pad, hold it up a little bit longer, because just in case they look away, they may not see it. So just hold it up maybe 10, 15 seconds so they can be sure to see it. Okay, we're going to jump into our first evaluator of the day, and that will be Miss Tracy, who will be evaluating Mr. Dustin. Let's give a round of applause for Tracy Hinojosa.
Thanks, Mark. Fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests, and especially you, Dustin. Can you guys hear me okay? I should check.
Yes.
Okay, great. I am pleased to give this evaluation of what I think will be Dustin's first speech with our club, and hopefully first of many. It was a good talk. I really enjoyed.
Tracy, can you speak a little bit louder? Sorry.
Let me turn up my setting. Hold on.
Thank you.
Sorry. Pause. Okay, let me see. Is this better?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
All right, thanks. So I enjoyed the talk for many reasons. One of them was the information you provided was really interesting. I'd heard of mead, but I didn't understand what it really was. And so it goes with some information I've heard before about how fermenting things kept people healthier, and people understood that. So that's why they had those kinds of beverages. But it added to knowledge that I had already kind of had, and something I'd wondered about what's made. So I really liked the content of your talk. I also really like the structure. You're very organized. I think I get the sense that you're a very methodical person, but I liked that you had good gestures. You said there are 5 things. You said the first step, things like that. The gestures were really good, and the structure was also very helpful in following along with the talk. So those are things I think come to you naturally, and I really like them. I also think you have a nice voice quality, and I think that that makes it nice and easy to listen to you. One thing I would really like for another talk, I would like to see you slow down a tiny bit more. Certain words you said fast, and those were words that I'm not familiar with. So I still don't really know the thing that would be the name. The fermentation takes place, and then you decant it into something else, and I didn't really hear the word. I think one of the times you spelled it out, but I was making other notes and I kind of missed that. So my best suggestion to you for next speech is keep doing what you're doing, and then also slow down, because some of us have a harder time hearing certain words or pitches. And so I think that if you did that, that would help make your talk that much more effective. But I really enjoyed it, and thanks for talking, Mr. General Evaluator.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much, Tracy. I loved it. Great job. We're going to move to our second evaluator of the day. That'll be
Mark, before how my camera is behaving funky, so I cannot show my hand and neither anything. So I don't know what happened, but I'm recording the timing, but somehow there's no way that I can show, because camera is
no
not
problem. No
Sorry.
problem. Hey, Sweet, can you just do timing for this one? Just hold up 1 finger, 2 fingers, 3 fingers, kind of like that. Oh, yes. Wait a minute. The evaluation is for you. Let's get somebody else. Jag.
I think that
Thank you.
my connections are better now.
Perfect. Okay, so Jag, you'll take care of that timing for our evaluation, our last evaluator. I can't hear you. Good.
I said yes.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Okay, let's jump into our second evaluator. That'll be Miss Terry Ermini, who will be evaluating Miss Sweet Henry. Let's give Terry a round of applause.
Thank you, Mark. Fellow Toastmasters, we had a wonderful speech today from Sweet. It was very enthusiastic and clear and interesting. It was very interesting, and it was even very relevant because we learned where the N95 mask originated from. And I want to congratulate you, Sweet, on giving a great talk. It was very well structured and very well organized. I love the way you set the stage to introduce Sarah Little to us and kind of brought her in like we were in this all-male, executive meeting. And then here comes this dynamic little woman, and you expressed her ideas in a very dynamic way. So it was very well, your talk was very well coordinated with the information that you gave. Your hand gestures were good. The sequencing of all the different inventions that Sarah had something to do with was fascinating. It was very, very interesting to see. And what I liked particularly was your inclusion of the 2 questions that she and her siblings asked themselves, what was intended in this design and how could it be improved? So I thought those were 2 things that I would like to definitely take away from the talk. One thing that I found was a little distracting was that you are on a rolling chair and you were rolling back and forth.
I didn't realize that people could see me. Were you able to see me?
Yes. Oh, we could always see you, but you were going back and forth, and it was like adding.
No, I thought nobody was able to see me. Okay.
No, it was such a full talk with great slides and great information and so much enthusiasm, and it was like almost this motion was almost like put me over the top. But it was that's a small thing to correct. You certainly have good hand gestures. You were I'm surprised you're not Italian. I associate that with Italians. The takeaways were excellent. The only thing that I would have liked to have seen different on the takeaways would be to have you tie the takeaway into something in your life, something that you personally are taking away from this, and something that you have learned from this really wonderful study that you gave us of Sarah Little. So thank you very, very much.
Awesome. Great job, Terry. Thank you for that wonderful evaluation. If we can get our timing report from, let's see, Ramesh is gone. Oh, well, Jag, do you have the timing report for Terry?
Yes, I do. Terry, your evaluation was 3 minutes and 12 seconds.
Okay, I don't know the first evaluation time, but I assume that was in the timing constraint. So we'll go with that. Really quickly, I'll kind of evaluate the meeting, jump into the evaluators. We got our meeting started off pretty much on time, about 12:03. Our first speaker started speaking at 12:13. That's a little later than we'd like to go. This way we can get more speeches in if possible. So hopefully we can, if we do have roles to cover, we can cover it as quickly as possible and get moving on our meeting. Word of the day, awesome word of the day, Jag. I do appreciate that. That's something that sometimes gets forgotten, our meeting of the day, our word of the day, because that's truly important. If you're at an event and you need to remember someone's name, that's why that word of the day is there. So you can recall, Stacy or John, and you can call them out personally, and that helps to connect you to the audience. Overall, I thought the meeting flowed very well. I thought we had overall great energy. in the meeting. And again, all the roles were covered. That's really important. And as I look at the screen, what makes a meeting successful, in my opinion, is when everybody speaks. And it looks like everybody has spoken today. So that is a great thing, even our guests. So wonderful. As far as the evaluators today, I thought they did a great job. I'm going to jump into the tips since time is a little short. She talked about speed of our talks. That is definitely an important thing. Really, we should be speaking at about, I'd say 180 to 100 words per minute, maybe 120 words, where it doesn't get too fast. Typically, I'll say this, we speed up, and typically we all do that when we're a little nervous. We tend to speed up our talk. So that just happens. We have to anticipate that. And again, we can keep it around 100 words per minute. People can bring that in and you shouldn't have a problem. One of the other tips we have to be mindful of is our rolling chairs. We want to make sure our chairs aren't rolling and we're moving back and forth. No, I'm just playing with that. But that was really a unique thing that she brought up. I thought, wow, look what virtual meetings have done to us. Now we have to worry about the wheels on our chairs or moving back and forth. So I loved it, sweet. Trust me, great job. And Terry, thanks for bringing that up. Real quickly, I'm going to make a point about Angie and her table topic. Even though her dog was barking, she rolled with it. That's what it's about. She didn't worry about it. She says, you know what, my dog is trying to take over the meeting. That's what it's about. It is about just having fun and letting the audience know, hey, I'm not perfect, and neither is my dog, and neither is I'm just having fun here. So that is a beautiful thing. And other than that, I thought the meeting went great. And I will turn our control back to our Toastmaster, Mr. Jag Najendra.
Thank you, Mark. Before I pass it back to you, we do have our Canada grammarian report. So can we?
Okay, thanks, Jag. I want to let you know that the fair weather minute person used the word of the day. The timer used the word of the day. Regarding the speaker number 1, Dustin, I heard so. Good use of pause in a speech. Good hand gestures as well. Speaker number 2, Sweet Henry, I heard so's and right, and whatever, a lot.
Okay.
Table topics. I spoke, so I didn't count myself, but if you
Okay.
heard anything, let me know. Angie, I heard I heard I heard so, and I heard and Tracy, I heard I heard and I heard and so. Evaluator number 1, Tracy, I heard I heard and I heard so. And Terry, evaluator 2, and so General evaluator, and and that's my report. Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you, Felicia, for that report. And now I'm going to toss this meeting back to our president, Mark Thompson.
Awesome. This has absolutely been one of the better meetings I can remember. I mean, everything flowed. We had great talks, even though they were off the cuff. I love that. That's what happens. But I enjoyed the meeting. And again, real quickly, Angie, just wanted to speak with you really quickly. Any thoughts on the meeting for today for you? Real quick, like 30 seconds. Any thoughts you had on the meeting for today?
I agree completely. The meeting was fun, informative. It just pretty much flowed from start to finish. And it was really entertaining and informative. I'm very impressed. Learning and having fun at the same time is wonderful.
Thank you, Angie. Do appreciate that. Again, welcome to come back as much as you want. You can be a guest as long as you like, and when you're ready to make it happen, you just let us know, and we will definitely.
I'll be joining, actually.
Awesome.
We are working on it.
All right. Well, congratulations on that. Love to have you, and love to have your energy and wisdom. Now, real quickly before we leave, we've got about a minute left. I just want to remind members of this, because this week, when we leave here, I look at it. We're doing our power work. When we're in the meeting, we're doing our power practice, but now we're doing our power work. And I want to remind everybody of this. One of the goals in our talks should be to bring some type of emotion into your talks, because I want you to know this, fellow Toastmasters, and you've heard this before. People won't remember what you said. I'll say that one more time. They will not remember what you said, but they will remember how they felt. And if you can bring the emotion, whether that's fun, like Sweet had today, a lot of enthusiasm, they will remember that. And I just want you to know, so we have to find ways through our power work to bring that emotion. It could be fear, it could be humor, it could be sadness, it could, whatever that is, bringing emotion into our talks is a critical, because like Terry talked about earlier, we don't want to just be up there giving a talk. That's not the goal. The goal is to make impact. The goal is to change people's lives, even if it's only one person, change that person's life for the better. That's what it's about. So find a way to bring that emotion into your talks. And trust me, people will walk up to you and say, you know, you gave a talk 2 years ago. You don't remember the talk, and they'll tell you how it changed what they do or some aspect of their life. So keep that in the back of your mind. We're a minute over. Is there any other comments, concerns, or thoughts from the members?
Okay, there's a new Division H district director,
Oh, good.
Michael Lamont. I do not know who he is. Club officer training, August 18th, 5:45 p.m. August 25th, 11:45 a.m. August 27th, 11:45 a.m. and August 31st, 5:45 p.m. Some of them are 2 hours, and some of them are more than 2 hours for those who need to do the training. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Felicia, for that bit of good information. Well, folks, it is that time. Oh, Miss Terry, what can we do for you?
Felicia, where can we access this online?
Go to district.
District 39 website, sign on.
Mhm.
And don't forget, next week is a convention.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Awesome. Okay, folks, it has been truly my pleasure to be here today. Let's get out there and get our power work done. Let's bring our shovels and let's do the digging that we need to dig to make these dreams happen. And again, it's about imperfect action. It's all about taking action. That's really what it's about. So we will see you next week, same bat times, same bat channel. And remember this, fellow Toastmasters, if the shoe fits, you wear it proudly. And we'll see you next week. You take care. Bye-bye.